After the edging is completed, let's learn how to work the side pieces. The left and right sides are identical. Both involve picking up the slip stitch chains for joining the yarn. First, crochet back and forth. Once that's done, complete the bordering. Finally, sew it onto the main piece. I will explain using either side as an example. Please watch the demonstration. Take the corresponding yarn and the fabric piece you previously crocheted. Locate the last reverse single crochet stitch position. Behind it, there are 2 strands of yarn. These 2 strands form the chain of the slip stitch. Pick up the first chain to join the yarn. Make 3 chains as the beginning chain. This counts as 1 double crochet stitch. Then pick up the chain on the left side of the slip stitch. Correspondingly make a double crochet stitch. Continue until you reach the short stitch, with 3 single crochets in 1 stitch, the 2 slip stitches above. At the ending position, you can add 1 extra stitch or skip 1 stitch. Just don't go past the reverse single crochet stitch position. Leave roughly the same gap on both sides. As long as it looks nice. That completes the first row. For the following rows, use the same crocheting method as the main part of section 1. Alternate between 1 row of single crochets and 1 row of double crochets. Follow the chart to finish the remaining rows. Finally, fasten off the yarn. Next, let's work on the edging. My sample has fewer rows for demonstration purposes only. I'll just show you the method. Find the first stitch where you'll join the yarn. Join the yarn here. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 2 single crochets into the left side of the beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet into each adjacent single crochet row. Continue all the way down the side edge. Once completed, rotate the piece. Pick up the last row of stitches and work single crochets evenly without increasing or decreasing. Continue working single crochets all the way across this row. Once done, rotate the piece again. Work single crochets along the side edge of the fabric piece. The number of single crochets should be identical to the other side. Finally, fasten off the yarn. Thread the reserved tail onto a yarn needle. Sew through the insertion point of the last stitch in the first row, sew a few stitches to secure it properly. Finally, weave in the ends. That concludes the edging process. Next, take a yarn in the same color as the edging. Thread it into a yarn needle. Sew the edge of the border to the slip stitch positions on the main piece. Use the backstitch method for sewing. This way, the stitches won't be too visible on the surface. That completes one side. Make sure to sew the other side as well. That concludes the process for one side of the fabric piece. For the other side of the side piece, follow this demonstration. Refer to the chart while crocheting. The stitch count and row count for both side pieces should be identical. That concludes the crochet method for the side pieces. Next, we'll learn how to make peach blossoms. They consist of flowers, buds, leaves, calyxes, and assembly. Follow the sequence to make it. Start by learning how to crochet the flower. Use a chain stitch for the beginning chain. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used here is single crochet increase. Please watch the demonstration. Take out the corresponding yarn. Start with one chain stitch. Then move on to the first round. Make one chain to begin. Then crochet 5 single crochets into the second to last chain stitch. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten. That completes the first round. Now let's move on to the second round. Start by crocheting 5 chain stitches. Then work 4 slip stitches from the second to last stitch. Next, pick up the second stitch of the first round, and make 1 slip stitch. This completes one group of stitches. I'll demonstrate another group. Start by crocheting 5 chain stitches. Then work 4 slip stitches from the second to last stitch. Next, pick up the left stitch, and make 1 slip stitch. This completes the second group sequence. Continue following the demonstration of the second group, refer to the chart, and crochet the entire round. Finally, make this slip stitch into the first stitch on the left. That completes the second round. Now let's move on to the third round. Pick up the other 2 strands of the left chain, and work 1 slip stitch. Work 1/2 double crochet. Work 1 double crochet increase. Work 1/2 double crochet. Then pick the tip position. Work 1 single crochet increase with any few strands. Mind not to insert into the braid of this left slip stitch. A single crochet increase means working 2 single crochets in the same stitch. That completes the single crochet increase. Next, pick the braid of the left slip stitch, and work 1/2 double crochet. Work 1 double crochet increase. Work 1/2 double crochet. Work 1 slip stitch. That completes one group of stitches. I'll demonstrate another group. Pick up the other 2 strands of the left chain, and work 1 slip stitch. Mind to skip the middle slip stitch. Continue with 1/2 double crochet. Work 1 double crochet increase. Work 1/2 double crochet. Then pick up any number of strands from the top position. Work 1 single crochet increase. Be careful not to insert into the braid of the slip stitch on the left. Rotate the piece. Pick the braid of the slip stitch on the left, and work 1/2 double crochet. Work 1 double crochet increase. Work 1 half double crochet. Work 1 slip stitch. That completes the second group of stitches. The rest is done following the demonstration of the second group. Refer to the chart and finish crocheting this part. Finally, pick the braid of the slip stitch on the left to join. Slightly tighten. Leave a long tail for sewing. This completes the third round. Take a 16 cm wire. Thread it through a wool bead. Fold it in half and twist slightly. Pass it through the center of the flower. Then thread the reserved yarn into a sewing needle. Make sure the sewing needle can pass through the seed bead. Move the yarn to the center of the petal. At the edge of the wool bead, take a seed bead and thread it through. Sew one stitch. Continue sewing seed beads around the wool bead. There are 5 in total. Distribute them evenly on each petal. Everyone, hide the tails with a few more stitches. With a few more stitches. Also hide the remaining yarn. That concludes one flower. Everyone, follow this method, and assemble 5 more small flowers. Next, we'll learn how to make a bud. Start with a chain stitch. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is single crochet decrease. Please watch the demonstration. Take the corresponding yarn. Chain 1 to start. Then crochet the first round. Make 1 beginning chain. Next, work the corresponding number of single crochets into the second chain from the hook. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten. That completes the first round. Now move on to the second round. Make 1 beginning chain. For this round, work single crochets evenly into each stitch from the previous round. Since the number of stitches is small, it's normal for the fabric to naturally curl. Everyone should turn the right side out. Join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. That completes the second round. The third round is worked in the same way as the second round. Work 1 single crochet into each stitch. After completing the third round, continue to the fourth round. Make 1 beginning chain. First, work 2 single crochets in sequence. The next stitch is a single crochet decrease. Insert the hook into the left stitch, and pull the yarn through. Then insert it into the adjacent stitch, and pull the yarn through again. Finally, yarn over and pull through all loops at once. That completes the single crochet decrease. Next, pick up the left stitches, and work 2 single crochets in sequence. Finally, work 1 single crochet decrease. Start by picking up the next 2 adjacent stitches on the left. Finally, yarn over and pull through all loops. That completes another single crochet decrease. Finish with a slip stitch join. You can stuff some leftover yarn inside if you like. I won't be adding any here. This marks the completion of the fourth round. Now work the fifth round. For this round, simply crochet into the stitches from the previous round without increasing or decreasing. Since there are fewer stitches, it might be a bit tricky to work. Take it a little slow when crocheting. After finishing, leave a long yarn tail. Below, I'll demonstrate the method for closing with a sample swatch. The sample is just for demonstrating the technique and not for reference. Pick up the front loops of the stitches and pull through each one. Finally, tighten slightly. That's how you close the opening. That concludes the crochet technique for the flower bud. Everyone complete the remaining flower buds. Next, we'll learn how to make the leaves. Use the chain stitch for casting on. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Please watch the demonstration. Get the yarn. Start with 7 chain stitches. Then work 1 chain to begin. From the second to last stitch, pick up 1 strand on the top of the chain and work 1 single crochet. Work 1 half double crochet. Work 3 double crochets. One half double crochet. 1 single crochet. Then work 1 chain for transition. Work 1 double crochet in the same stitch. Then work 1 ch1sl picket. That is, chain 1 first. Then make 1 slip stitch. You can keep it not too tight. This way, the ch1sl picket is completed. Then work 1 chain for transition. Work 1 single crochet in the same position as the double crochet. Then move to the other side. Pick up the other 2 strands and work 1 half double crochet. Do not insert the hook into the previous single crochet placement. Continue to work 3 double crochets. One half double crochet. 1 single crochet. And finish with a slip stitch join. Leave a yarn tail of about 20 centimeters, then cut the yarn. That concludes 1 leaf. Everyone, follow this method, and finish crocheting the remaining leaves. Next, we will crochet the calyx. Get the yarn. Start with 1 chain stitch. Then work the first round. Chain 1 as beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Then make 3 chains. Go back to the second chain and work 1 slip stitch. 1 single crochet. This completes 1 group sequence. I'll demonstrate another group sequence. First, work 1 single crochet in the starting chain stitch. Then chain 3 to start. From the second stitch from your hook, work 1 slip stitch. 1 single crochet. This completes the second group sequence. Continue following this demonstration. Refer to the chart and keep crocheting until you finish the round. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Leave a yarn tail at the end. That concludes the calyx section. Everyone, follow this method. Finish crocheting the remaining calyx pieces according to the required amount. Next, we'll assemble. First, assemble the flower branches that go into the palace markers. Take out 1 flower. Here, because the yarn is too thick, I'm using another bead instead. The surrounding beads are not sewn together. Insert it into 1 calyx. With the right side facing out. Transition the yarn to the middle position. Secure the flower and calyx together with glue. Let the glue dry completely. Once the glue is completely dry, wrap the yarn a few times around the wire and secure it with glue. Next, take out 1 flower bud and a 10 cm piece of wire. Pass the wire through the first round of the flower bud. Fold it in half and insert it into the calyx. Secure it with glue. Wrap about 1 centimeter below. Then take 1 leaf and another 10 cm piece of wire. Pass the wire through the bottom of the leaf. After folding, wrap 0.5 cm at the bottom. Finally, combine them together. Wrap with the wire used for flower stems for 3.5 centimeters. Secure it with glue in the end. Cut off any excess yarn and wire. This completes the assembly of the flower branch to be inserted into the palace emblem. Next, let's assemble the flower branch for the flower window. Start by assembling one flower with one calyx. Wrap about 0.5 centimeters below. In total, create 5 sets. Then take one flower bud and one calyx, and wrap 0.5 centimeters. Make a total of 2 sets. Next, take one leaf and one wire and wrap them together. Make a total of 7 sets. The length of all wires is 20 centimeters. The wrapping distance below the leaves is different. It should not exceed 1 centimeter at most. The method is similar to the wrapping technique used for the palace emblem. I've already prepared them in advance. Finally, assemble everything together. First, take 2 leaves. Place one higher and one lower. Wrap 1 centimeter below with the thread from the flower stem. Then add one flower bud. Wrap just a short distance. Add one flower. Continue wrapping for 0.5 centimeters. Add one more flower. When adding peach blossoms, stagger them to the left and right. Don't add them all in the same direction. Continue wrapping for 0.5 centimeters. Add one flower. Wrap 1 centimeter below and secure with glue. Then take 2 more leaves. Place them with one higher and one lower. Wrap 0.5 centimeters below and add 1 leaf. Wrap a bit further and add 1 flower bud. Continue wrapping for 0.5 centimeters and add 1 leaf. Wrap a few more rounds and add the branch that was wrapped earlier. After wrapping about 0.5 centimeters, add 1 flower. Wrap another 0.5 centimeters and add 1 leaf. Finally, wrap 2 centimeters. Secure with glue. Cut off the excess wire and thread. Place it on the flower window. Adjust the position of the branches according to the finished product picture. Use glue to secure these 4 positions first. If you're worried it might fall off, you can fix it with a few stitches of same color thread. Place the bottom of the flower branch on the wrong side of the flower window. There's no need to leave it too long. Also, secure it slightly with thread. I'll demonstrate the method of securing below. Pick the surface thread to secure. Pay attention that the stitches don't show on the right side. This is the securing method. Below, I'll demonstrate the method for securing the leaves. I'm using a swatch to demonstrate here. It's also about picking the surface thread to secure the leaf. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends. Try not to let the stitches show on the wrong side. This is the method for securing the leaves. That concludes the making method for peach blossoms. Next, we'll learn about bookmark sewing and attaching Pallas tags. Start by attaching the Pallas tag. Sew it on the lower left side of the book cover. And leave the top part unsewn. Only sew these 3 sides. First, cut a piece of yarn, thread it through the needle, and fold it in half. Tie a knot at the end. And secure the yarn tail. Pay attention that the Pallas tag is sewn on the right side. Don't get the direction wrong. Sew along the brown stitch line of the Pallas tag. You can pick up the stitches from the main piece's surface to sew. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends. That concludes the Pallas tag. Next, we'll make the bookmark. With the flower on top, and the leaf, the crocheting method for the flower bud and calyx is identical to the peach blossom pattern chart. Everyone follow the previous demonstration, according to the quantity on the diagram. Finish crocheting. Pay attention that the will bead on top of the flower is sewn using yarn. No need to secure it with wire. The thin cord above is crocheted using the suspended yarn chain stitch technique. Refer to the pattern and crochet the corresponding length. Below, I will provide a crocheting method. Everyone first learn this method, then proceed with crocheting. After the thin cord is completed, move on to assembly. First, take one flower bud and one calyx and assemble them together. Next, sew one end of the thin cord onto the bottom of the calyx. Sew a leaf at a slightly lower position. Only secure a few stitches on the lower part. Once finished, take the D-ring and thread it through. On the other end, sew one flower bud and one calyx together. Sew a flower and one calyx at a slightly distant position. Everyone should also hide the remaining yarn tails. I won't hide them here for demonstration purposes. Sew a leaf at a lower position. Then sew the flat side of the D-ring onto the centered position after folding the book cover in half. And sew it onto the eave. Below, I'll demonstrate the sewing technique with this small one. The position is not for reference. First, cut a piece of yarn and thread it into the sewing needle. Secure the tail on the fabric. Pass through the D-ring and start sewing. Pay attention not to sew onto the cord. Everyone should sew this flat side. Firmly stuffed. Finally, tie a knot and weave in ends. This way, the bookmark is assembled. After completing, tie a knot. Then apply blush lightly but multiple times on the flowers and buds. Up to this point, the product has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.